Say one word, I'll just wave my hand. All right. He's been good. All right. Good to me. Yes, sir. He kept me out of danger. The danger was around me. Couldn't say one word. I'll just wave my hand. If I could say one word, I'll just wave my hand. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. He's been good. Yes. So good. Yes. So good to me. Yes. He's been so good. Good to me. I just can't forget what he did at Calvary. If I could say one word, I'll just wave my hand. Sing, baby. What he did when he went to Calvary. He shed his blood. Oh yeah. And he shed it just for me. Lord, I'm standing. Yes. On your word. On your word shall forever stand. If I could say one word, I'll just wave my hand. I'll just wave my hand. Can I get away with him? Yes. Yes, sir. Wave my hand. No matter what you're going through. Wave my hand. Though the trial and tribulation may come. Just wave my hand. But I'll wave my hand. I'll just wave my hand. If I was sitting in a wheelchair today, I'll wave my hand. Wave my hand. If I didn't have a word to say, I'll wave my hand. I don't know about you today, but if there's anybody out there that said, Lord, if I could say one word, I'll just wave my hand. Come say one word. I'll just wave my hand. Yes, Lord. I'll just wave my hand. Come on and give God a hand clap of praise. Has it been good to anybody today? Has it been good to anybody today? Amen. He's been better to me than I've been to myself. He picked me up, turned me around, placed my feet on a solid ground. Now I can tell the world how good of a God he is. Come on and say amen, somebody. I was sitting there just the other day and I didn't know, well, they told me, they said, well, you you need to be on ready because you never know what Pastor Stone may do. And I said, okay, and I still went on ready. Say amen. I still went on ready. I was in vacation mode. I don't know about y'all, but I come down here, I'll be on vacation. But it's not your will. It's God's will. All right. And sometimes we just have to learn how to submit ourselves under the hand of God. All right. And Pastor Stone, he said, well, DJ, I want you to preach tomorrow. He said, I just want you to preach. I said, okay, I will. And I was sitting there, I said, well, now, Lord, I need a word. Well, Lord, it's me again. All right. I need a word. And I was sitting there in the bed last night. It happened last night. I was sitting in the bed. We had just came from the lights of the South. And I don't know about y'all, me and my brother, we had a good time out there. Oh, man, we was living in them lights. I was enjoying that thing. And on the hayride, he got to see Santa Claus. I said, Lord, have mercy. Santa Claus, I thought Santa Claus knew my brother's name. He was sitting up there talking about some Trey. I thought he said Dre. I looked at him, I said, God, you must not be telling me something. I said, I didn't know who is Dre. Who are you talking to? And I was going to step to Santa Claus. I was like, you know my brother's name. He thought I was somebody else. I said, no, that's not me. My name is Daveoin. Amen. But I was sitting there and God began to speak to me and he told me, he said, wait until midnight. And I was sitting there and he said it, and it dropped in my spirit, and I was trying to figure out what the Lord was talking about. And he said, just wait until midnight. He said, in every, we're going to go to the word in a minute, but he told me, he said, anytime I ever moved in the Bible, it was at midnight. Yes, sir. All right. And I said, Lord, what are you saying? At midnight, your life will never be the same. All right. God's getting ready to turn your current situation all the way around. All right. And God said your crying days are over. All right. Yes, see, I don't know. Let me say what we got. So we got 30 more days in this month. We got 30 more days in this month before we hit 2020. Oh, yes. Yes, Lord. 2020 is the year of vision, the year of clarity. But God is getting ready to turn it around in your favor. I wish I had a church in here that'll look at somebody sitting next to you and say, neighbor, I'm excited about your future. To the book of Exodus, starting at the 12th chapter, y'all. I promise I won't be before you long. We just got a few scriptures to read. The book of Exodus, chapter 12. I want to show you when God moves and how he moves at midnight. We'll drop all the way down to the 12th verse. We're going to read the 12th verse, the 13th verse, and then we're going to go to the 29th verse. When you're there, say amen. 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. God coming for everybody. And against all the gods of Egypt, I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. Verse 13. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you. And the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. Verse 29. The Bible says, and it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his high throne, until the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. To the beloved book of Matthew. Many people say that, well, just because he moved at midnight in the Old Testament don't mean he moved at midnight in the New Testament. I got a bone to pick with people like that. The Bible never contradicts itself. Just like they try to tell me that it's right for a man to walk around wearing high heels and makeup and weave and dresses and things of that nature. I wasn't going to get in that today, but you know. And and we just allow it to happen like it's okay. That's not okay. Sometimes you got to tell them, no, that's not right. Don't do that around me. I was working with somebody on the job, and he tried to tell me I was judging him. I said, I'm not judging you. I just asked you when you I said, you go to church, you know who the Lord is, and I said, well, you say you live by the word, or you say you know who God is, but yet you walk around wearing a wig, and you definitely is a man. I asked him, I said, when are you really going to give your life over to God? He got mad at me because he said I was judging him. I said, I don't know how I judged you by asking you when you going to come to Jesus. I just asked you a simple question. Hey, man, it was just a yes or a no answer right there. Either I'm coming or I ain't coming. I told him, I said, you can't straddle the fence. We was in the office then. I told him, I said, you can't straddle the fence. I said, I don't know, but I ain't one of them little preachers that be just letting everything roll up in here. I said, oh no, if I see it, I'm going to call it and I'm going to get it up out of here. Matthew 25, starting at the second verse. The Bible says, and 5 of them, let me go up to the first verse. Let me tell the story. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, Jesus was talking to his disciples, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. And they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm a wise one. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight, there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all the virgins arose and trimmed their lamps, and the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil. Say, you can't have my oil. For our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, not so. You can't have my oil. Lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. To the book of Acts. This is the last book, I promise. People be like, I ain't got time for all this reading. Maybe you need to read a little bit more. Say, man, I don't know about y'all, but when I read the word, it's good to me. Amen. Acts 16, starting at the 25th verse. I think God getting ready to tie this thing in. Look at somebody sitting next to you and say, wait until midnight. Oh, my mind. I don't know about y'all. He's creeping on me. I feel like preaching up in here. The Bible says, and at what? Midnight. And at evening. Midnight. And at morning. Midnight. He said, and at midnight. Paul and Silas prayed. And sang praises unto God. And the prisoners heard them. And suddenly, look at your neighbor and say, suddenly. There's going to be some sudden breakthroughs that's going to hit your house. Suddenly, there was a great earthquake, so that the foundations of the prison were shaken. And immediately, all the doors were open, and everyone's bands were loosed. And the keeper of the prison, awakening out of his sleep, and seeing the prison doors open, he drew out his sword and would have killed himself, supposing that the prisoners had been fled. Oh, but Paul cried. Sometimes we go through some things in life, and we go through turmoil, and even a sense of doubt might come over us. But there's always a ram in the bush. And this ram was Paul. Paul cried with a loud voice, saying, do thyself no harm, So we all are here. Now, ain't that something crazy? Y'all may be seated because I'm finna teach it like I feel it. Ain't this something crazy that these people were in jail now, and when they were in jail, Paul, Silas, I believe this is how I take it. They were put in jail because of a woman going around saying that, declaring that, oh, these men walked with Jesus, they performed miracles, they did this, they did that, and the woman was a slave, and the men who owned the woman told, because she couldn't do her, when Paul and Silas cast that spirit up out of her that was going around boasting them, because sometimes we boast, but we boast in the wrong way. We can boast in materialistic things, but the Bible said, make your boast in the Lord. It ain't me that got this vehicle, but it was God that blessed me with it. If it had not been for the Lord who was on my side. See, that type of stuff that makes people want to find out more about you. It's that type of stuff that make people want to come to your church, that make people want to sit next to you and talk to you at the lunch table. It's that type of word right there when you say, if it had not been for God who was on my side, oh, glory to God. When they see me walk in there, I remember a time where I ain't have no socks, but now I got a drawer full of them. See, it's the small things that you thank God for. Because if you bless me with a little, I'll bless you with much. You see what I'm saying? Thank God in your hard time and watch how He begin to do it in your big time. See, what you do when you got nothing, and that's what you're going to do when you got much. But some people, they start out with much and they don't know about the little. Oh, but I was blessed to see the little things. I was blessed to live through a hard time. I thank God for my hard time, because if I had not have known about the hard time, I would never known about the good time, what God's getting ready to do. Because even through the hard time, God said, thank me for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Thank me for the going through. If you thank me for the going in, I'll bless you in your coming out. I'm telling you, it's so simple that if you just get in the Word, get in it. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with God. Just begin to glorify Him, even when you feel that pain shooting up your leg, even when you feel that pain going down your back. Thank God for the pain. Say, Lord, I thank you. And watch how the devil begin to back up off you. You'll start realizing that pain leaving. You'll start realizing that your knee ain't aching no more. You hear me what I'm saying? Only thing you got to do is start glorifying God and watch it. See, what she was doing, she was going around, she was going around boasting them in the wrong way. I'm getting ready to tie this thing into wait until midnight, but you just keep holding on. Man, she was boasting them in the wrong way, and Paul and Silas was like, if this woman don't, I believe, see, because Paul was a violent man. Let me slow it down and tell you about Paul. Paul was a real violent man. Paul was so violent to the point where he killed Christians. He killed the saints of God, persecuted them, crucified them. Paul did, and then didn't take no thought about it either. Do it right off the heart. They have you stoned, and then you walk off like he done did something. But one day he was on the road to Damascus, and he messed around and met Jesus. Oh, that man would change your mind. I'm telling you. That man will change your mind. Once you meet Jesus, you better ask Lee Williams. Yeah. Trouble in my way. Yeah, shut up. I bet when Paul met him, and Paul said, oh, no, never again will I ever crucify another Christian. So, amen. Jesus appeared to him as a bright light. Blinded this man. Took his eyesight. See, that's one thing. See, that now Paul got a testimony. I once was blind, but now I see. Oh yes. But he was. I'm gonna preach in a minute. Y'all keep holding on. I promise. But Paul was sitting there. This thing getting good to me. Paul was sitting there, and I believe Silas was the one who was weak. Because Paul knew that at 12, the Roman guards was going to go to sleep. So he said, while I pray, Saul, while I pray, Silas, I want you to sing a song. And when you sing this song, I want it to be a song never heard before. Oh, when we get to heaven, we're going to hear songs that we never heard before. The angels cry holy. I believe Silas, if I can imagine for a bit, Silas was crying out, holy, holy, holy is thy name. Holy is thy stature. Holy is the Lord. Holy is thy presence. Holy. I believe he was crying out, and Paul was sitting there praying a prayer, and he said, Jesus. I bet you, because Paul, he was an angry man, so I'm pretty sure they had beat him. So I'm pretty sure Paul wasn't pretty happy. He wasn't all that happy like that. So I bet Paul had gone out and said, Lord, it's me again. I can imagine he was standing in the need of prayer. Lord, they done beat my knees in. They done beat me so bad to the point where I can't feel myself. Shatabaya. Oh, but God, if you can do it again. Now this man was, this ain't the first time Paul was going to be thrown in prison. Paul wrote most of the books in prison. Yes, he did. But he wrote all of them from prison, especially to the Roman church, the Corinthian church. He wrote all those from a Roman jail. And at midnight, the Bible says, Paul and Silas prayed and sang praises unto God. And the prisoners heard them. Sometimes our praise ignite a fire in somebody else's belly. He got up here, Reverend Stone got up here and he began to preach. And he ignited something in my belly to the point where tears began to roll down my face. Oh, look at your neighbor and say, I feel him preaching now. Now I want you to know this one thing, that even while it was midnight, Silas was the weak one, but Paul said, I'm going to pray this prayer because I was a Roman and I got Roman knowledge, so I know what the Romans do. At midnight, they go to sleep. And I believe Paul began to look back in the scripture, and he remembered when Moses was sitting up in there, and God spoke to Moses in the book of Exodus chapter 11 at the fourth verse, and he told Moses, and Moses said, thus saith the Lord, about midnight I will go out into the land of Egypt. So I believe Paul began to remember what God had did previously. He remembered what Jesus said about the five foolish and the five wise. You understand? I believe Paul began to remember these things, and when Paul began to remember these things, he said, hold up one cotton picking minute, Silas. We got to wait until midnight. You understand? Because at midnight the airwaves are going to be clear. At midnight God is going to be roaming the land. Y'all don't want to hear it. God is going to be in the land at midnight. So at midnight I'm going to pray, and at midnight you going to sing. And when you sing this song, and when I pray this prayer, our lives are going to change forever. And let me tell you, and just by their obedience, the Bible said obedience is better than sacrifice. Just by their obedience, a Roman soldier was saved. You understand? Now I'm telling you, sometimes we just got to be obedient to the word. The Bible said a great earthquake, suddenly it came. That ain't the first time the word suddenly has been used in the Bible. The Bible said that the Bible go all the way back to the book of Genesis on the 37th chapter. The Bible said that suddenly Joseph had a dream. Joseph had a dream, and it said suddenly my sheep arose. I want to tell somebody here, and they and the brothers were around about his sheep, bowing down and trying and making obeisance to him. Now if the brothers were obeying him in that time, you understand, he said suddenly. So I come to tell somebody, suddenly your life is going to change forever. The Bible said wait until midnight and you going to receive a miracle. I believe the woman with the issue of blood. I believe the woman with the issue of blood, she was sitting there. The Bible said that she had to press her way through the crowd. She had to press her way through the crowd. But if this woman would have waited, she would have had to catch him at midnight. Somebody said, how do you know this? Because the Bible said she made her way through the crowd. The disciples said, who touched her? Jesus said, who touched me? The disciples said, Lord, you don't realize you around all these people. What you mean, who touched you? All these people are touching you. Jesus said, no. Somebody touched me. Somebody pulled the virtue out of me. Somebody took the miracle working power out of me. It was her faith. So what do you mean by her faith? I'm tying it in. If you wait until midnight, your faith is going to praise. You're going to praise your way up. stronghold. The Bible says that when the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. So when Paul had received the gift of the Holy Ghost, he was a free man. You understand? And if you're free in the natural, excuse me, if you're free in the spiritual, you're free in the natural. Can't no chains hold me down. There was a song written a long time ago that said there ain't no grave that can hold me down. There was a man by the name of Peter. Peter was sitting in jail one time, and there was an angel that appeared unto Peter. You understand? At midnight, and it was Shataya. At midnight, now Peter sleep. Now that man told him. He said, Peter, listen. He said, Peter, listen. And you gonna die. He said, you gonna die the next day. Now what in the world is Peter doing sleep? Knowing that he getting ready to die. You understand? But he was asleep. That man must have had a word from the Lord. And once you get a word from God, you understand, once you get a word from God, Paul had a word from the Lord that said you a free man. Peter got a word from God that said you won't die young. You won't die young. You understand? So I was sitting there, I said, now Peter will sleep. What greater faith? What greater faith is that? You know that you ain't getting ready to die. These people done told you getting ready to die. Oh, but Peter said, no, I'm going to take me a nap. You understand? I'm going to go to sleep on this thing because I know that my God is the deliverer. The Bible says that many may be the affliction of the righteous. Oh, but God shall deliver thee out of them all. Oh, but one thing, what he said, many may be the affliction of the righteous. You understand? For the fervent prayer of the righteous prevaileth much. You understand? So wait a minute, I was sitting there and I began to read this thing. I said, Lord, you said that the fervent prayer of the righteous prevaileth much. So God, what was it? Paul and Silas were righteous men. And the Bible began on to say that they prayed and sang songs unto God, and the prisoners heard them, and the guard arose. Paul cried with a loud voice saying, do thyself no harm, for we all are here. Then he called for a light and sprang in and came trembling and fell down before Paul and Silas and brought them out and said, sirs, what must I do to be saved? He said, what must I do to be saved? Sometimes your very trial is going to save somebody. Sometimes your very going through is going to bring somebody out. You understand? I'm telling you, I've never seen a negative I've never seen a positive. I've never seen a negative without a positive. I've never seen an out without an in. I've never seen a bottom without a top. You understand that there's a going in, there's a coming out. You understand the Bible says that to everything there's a time and a season and a purpose up under the heaven. You understand? There's a time to plant seed and there's a time to harvest. So what do you mean? Even in their going through time, they were still able to plant a seed and reap a harvest. Somebody said, what did they reap? What harvest did they reap? They gained a soldier. This man was a soldier to the Roman army. Oh, but he turned around and he turned and he jumped over the river. He crossed over the river and he became a soldier in the army of the Lord. I wish I had a church in here. Look at somebody sitting next to you and say, you just wait on until midnight. You just wait one conviction moment. Oh, God will turn this thing around. God will turn it around in my favor. It won't always be like this. Oh, but God's getting ready to turn it all the way around. Look at somebody sitting next to you and say, neighbor, oh neighbor, God is getting ready to turn it around in my favor. You ain't seen my best days yet. My best days are yet to come because God is getting ready to do it again. It won't always be like this, but Shiloh is coming. Come on and help me preach it just like I feel it. Tell your neighbor, say neighbor, oh neighbor, can I give you another example of how God moved at midnight? The Bible says in the book of Judges, the 16th chapter, on the 3rd verse, he said, and Samson lay till midnight and took the doors of the gate and the city, and two passed went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders and carried them to the top of the hill that is Lord. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leading me beside the still waters. He restored my soul for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. When in the midnight hour, when my body is overwhelmed, I can lean on the Lord. I can lean on him when I don't feel like it. I can lean on him when I feel good. I can lean on him when I don't feel good. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, it's getting ready to work in your favor. It's getting ready to turn around. You ain't seen your best thing yet, but God, oh God, is getting ready to do it again. I'm telling you, you just keep on waiting. Keep on waiting. You will get better. Better is coming. Better is coming. Better is coming. Better is coming. Better is coming to your house. Better is coming to your house. Your job is getting ready to turn. Your life is getting ready to turn. Your family is coming back to God. Just wait until midnight. Their prayer has not been sent. Has not been sent in vain. But God, oh God, is getting ready to perfect that concerning you. Greater and greater. The Bible said that he that begun a great work in you is faithful. I said faithful to perform it. Lift your hand and shout glory. But wait a minute now, I gotta teach it. I don't went too fast. You understand? Listen, I'm sorry y'all, but I'm a preacher. I get happy sometimes. But wait a minute, listen. This is what it is. This is what it is right here. If you just keep on holding on in your downtime. Keep on holding on in your down state. But I'm telling you, your life is gonna change. It's gonna turn around in your favor. If you just keep on waiting until midnight. The Bible said that weeping may endure for what? Joy. Weeping may endure for what? But joy gonna do what? Oh, just wait until midnight. I'm telling you, it's gonna turn around. 12 o'clock a.m. That thing gonna turn around in your favor. God is getting ready to move on your behalf. I'm telling you that the Bible said that he that begun that great work, he's faithful to perform it. So just keep holding on. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how hard the trial may seem, you just keep holding on. I'm telling you, you ain't seen your best days yet. God's getting ready to do it. God's getting ready to bless you with unexpected favor. God's getting ready to bless you with unexpected favor. You just keep holding on to God. I'm telling you, eyes have not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man what God got in store just for you. If you just keep holding on, receive the word that he's saying on today. I'm telling you that this is what it is. First lady, God's getting ready to do it. I'm telling you that everything you've been praying for, suddenly, 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 an earthquake came, suddenly, God's going to turn it around, suddenly, God's going to move on your behalf, suddenly, you just keep holding on, suddenly, woo! Suddenly, just suddenly will God move. Suddenly